So this is a follow-up video about solving for missing sides of similar triangles, and I'm going to do a couple challenge problems. I'm going to be referencing my first video a lot though, so be sure to check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, so we have two triangles here that are creating sort of this bow tie, and I want to talk about why they are similar to start. So we see these two lines here are labeled as being parallel, and then we also have these two vertical angles here that are going to be equal in size because they are across from each other. And then because of these vertical lines and this line, for example, that crosses through the two vertical lines, we have these alternate interior angles, angle B and angle C, that are the same size. And then angle D is going to be the same size as the opposite one over here, angle A. And so there's a little bit of a rotation going on here, and that's important to know when you're setting up your proportional ratios. So let's start off with these two sides here. 12 is going to be proportional to the 18, or corresponding to that one. And so I'm going to go ahead and also label the other ones that are proportional to each other. So we have the x plus 4 is going to be actually proportional to the opposite one, which is 2x plus 1. So let's just set up our first fraction to be x plus 4 over 12. Honestly, whatever you decide your first fraction to be, you just want to make sure the second one matches up with it with the corresponding sides appropriately. So just to make it super clear, we have the x plus 4, the green side, on top, and the 12 on the bottom. So some people might accidentally go ahead and not pay super close attention and put the 8 over the 2x plus 1, but the 8 is actually corresponding with the 12 because that's the way that the triangles are similar to each other. And the 2x plus 1, the green side, is actually going to be on top. And this is really the trickiest part about problems like this one, is this initial setup. And then the solving is actually going to be really similar to what we did in the prior video. So I'll go ahead and solve now. So we're going to do some cross multiplication to get rid of our fractions. I'm going to bring this equal sign down. I'm going to multiply 8 times x plus 4 on one side, and then I'm going to multiply 12 times 2x plus 1 on the other. Let's do some distribution here. We get 8 times x is 8x, and then 8 plus 4 is going to, 8 times 4 is going to be 32. 12 times 2x is going to be 24x, and 12 times 1 is 12. So when you're solving an equation like this, we have x on both sides of the equal sign, and I want to make x on one side so that I'll be able to isolate it and know what it is. And to bring one side over, I could either subtract the 24x over or subtract the 8x. I'm going to do 8x to keep things positive. So we'll get 16 over here, x. And since I'm kind of running out of space, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this 12 over here. So I'll bring my equal sign down, and we're going to get 20 is equal to 16x. And now this is a very simple equation. One last step we have to do is divide both sides by 16 and get our final answer. So that's 1.25 for x. Now, with these kinds of problems, you want to double check and see what is it asking for, because they like to trick you a lot of the time. So I see that it's asking for what is AE. It did not say what is x. And so I should have written an equal sign between those. And if we notice, AE was labeled to be x plus 4. And so then I'm going to just take my x value of 1.25. And in this case, I'm just going to add 4 to it to get my final answer for AE. So 1.25 plus 4 is going to be 5.25. And that is our final answer for AE. So for the last challenge problem, we have two triangles that are kind of nudged up against each other, and we have this 90-degree angle right here as well. I can assume that this one is also going to be 90 degrees, and it's labeled that these angles on either side over here are also the same size. And so I want to make sure that I set up my corresponding sides appropriately. And so kind of matching up our not our hypotenuse, but our longest sides that are labeled are going to be on the bottom for both of them. And then the shortest sides in each of the triangles that are matching up is this one that's labeled as 10, and also this other sort of wall over here that is next to it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and write the first clear fraction that I see. I'm going to do 10 over 3x plus 5. And if we notice, we have the red side over the green side. And so I want to make sure to make that match up with the top. And a lot of people are going to be really tempted to look at this diagram and say, oh, I think I should put a 3 right here. But if you take a careful look at the diagram, this side length is not 3. Just this little tiny portion right here is 3. And I want this full entire length to represent this whole side of this triangle. And so that means I need to add this piece of it, which is 10, and this piece, which is 3, to give me 13 for that one. So 13 is this whole length right here, and that's actually what's going to go into our proportional equation. Then on the bottom we have the 6x minus 4 that I was talking about earlier. So I'll go ahead and solve this again just so you can see it. We're going to multiply 10 times 6x minus 4, excuse my sloppy writing. Bring this equal sign down, and then we'll multiply 13 by 3x plus 5. We'll get 60x minus 40 is equal to 13 times 3x is 39x, plus 13 times 5 is 65. I'm going to go ahead and try to keep things positive again. I'm going to subtract 39x from my like term there. 60 minus 39 is going to be 21x. And then just switch up my colors here. Let's bring that 40 over to the other side. I don't want to lose my equal sign. My equal sign's right here. So we're going to get 105 on the right. I'm going to divide 105 by 21, which is 5.